I'm Teacher McKenzie and welcome to my classroom. What do you want your life to look like? What I want you to do is take a piece of paper, some crayons or markers or colored pencils, whatever you prefer, and I want you to draw a picture of what you want your life to look like. Now, I actually drew a picture on a whiteboard of what I want my life to look like. So I'm going to show you right here, and I'm going to explain to you kind of what this picture shows. So what this picture shows is me, my husband, and our two little babies. So also, what my husband and I have actually wanted, we used to live with his parents, and what we wanted was a house. We wanted to be able to have our own space. So I've drawn a house here, but now that we're in a house, now that it's COVID and we're not really able to get out too often, I've also drawn nature. And especially since it's been so hot this summer, I also drew rain because I love the rain. I love being out in the rain. I love sitting and listening to it. And I love it when it's able to cool off the earth a little bit. I also drew the sun because who doesn't love being out in the sun? And I drew a dress because I am actually trying to create an online dress business, and so I would really love it to be able to take off. We have our little fur baby Bandit right here, and I've always actually wanted a dog. And so this last Christmas, not the one coming up, we bought Bandit so that he could be our little baby. I also want to officially become an author, so that's why I have a book with a pencil. Now, I want to see your pictures, and I'm going to show you where to put them at the end of the lesson. So as we're going through the lesson, I want you to be writing down your answers to my questions that I ask you, maybe on a piece of paper. That way you have somewhere to put your notes. And I want you to work on this drawing as you're listening to this video. That way you are thinking about what you want to be able to do with your life. So I have some questions for you. And when I ask these questions, I actually want you to write down the answers on a piece of paper, probably the back of the paper that you're drawing on your picture. Okay, so question number one, what things do you like? Now, this is in reference to a future job. You might not be thinking about a job right now because you're probably a little too young, but this class, College and Career Awareness, CCA, is to get you thinking about a future job and how that translates into going to college. So, in reference to what you like to do right now in your life, okay, because it's applicable right now, and what you might like to continue doing in the future for the rest of your life, what things do you like, okay? Now, that can be, I like working with people, or I really don't like people, so I don't want to be around people, okay? You can be one or the other. There's no right or wrong. Also, you can write down, I really like food, so I want to work in the food industry. Or I really like drawing, and I like being creative, and I really like movies. So maybe I want to create animation, okay? Kind of see where I'm going with this. So write down things that you love to do. Okay, question number two. Now, if that was not enough time, go ahead and pause this video. Take all the time you need to write down everything that you want to write, okay? The more information you write down, the better prepared you're going to be for the future. So, question number two. What things do you like to do? Now, if you already wrote down some things that you like to do in question number 1, go ahead and underline those things that you like to do, okay? I don't want you to have to repeat writing the same things over. So question number 2, what things do you like to do? Okay, again, if you need more time, pause the video and then you can start it up again. Question number 3, what abilities do you have? So if you are artsy and creative and you like to draw, write that down. If you're really smart and you like to do math or science or history or any of those things, write those things down. If you're really smart and you work with people really well, go ahead and write that down. If you're also very smart and you're very creative in photography or how paint works well with itself on a canvas, watercolor blows my mind. So yes, that can be one thing you can write down, okay? Write down anything that you are able to do that you are very good at. All right, now go ahead and pause the video if you need to have a few more minutes to write things down. Once you're done writing your answers to these questions, what I want you to do is pause this video in 3 seconds, okay, in a minute. Share your answers with a family member, a friend, someone, okay? Go find someone. If no one's around, save it for later, okay? Find someone, share that list with them. Now, what you're going to do is brainstorm up a job that can fit with everything that you wrote down, or at least most everything you wrote down, okay? Because we want to try and figure out what jobs are out there that fit you. Now, if no one's around, you want to get this done right now, okay? You can research jobs if you want, just real fast, or while you pause this video, or we can brainstorm up a couple of them, okay? Now, one way that you and I can brainstorm out this together is at the very end. Right now, make sure you put a star next to your note where it says need to find a job, okay? Put a star next to that, because you are going to submit an assignment, and at the end of the assignment, there's a place where you can put your notes for the lesson. And I want you to put a question mark where it says need extra help with this, okay? That way I can email you back and I can give you some ideas. That way you can have some of my help and guidance with this venture. Now, we are going to define 2 words. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a Google search that we can do together. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. I know you can see this really well, but my screen is a little funky and it makes it hard for me to see the tabs at the top. So here we go. The first one is define aspiration, okay? If you want to, you can pause the video right now and see if you can try and come up with your own definition, write it down. What is aspiration? If you feel like you can do that, go for it. If not, go ahead and Google it. It's spelled Aspiration. If that was too slow, it's right there on the screen. You can go ahead and type what you see. Now, aspiration is a hope or ambition of achieving something. Okay, behind me, we have a strong desire, an aim, longing. Okay, now think of it this way. Let's say we are doing archery. We've got our bow and arrow, we are pulling it back, and we're aiming at that target. Now, there might be a little red circle in the middle of that target. Do you want to hit it? Now, if you're doing this in front of someone you're trying to impress or friends or whatever, of course you want to hit the middle of the target, right? Because that's the goal. That's everyone's goal, and hopefully it might be your goal too. If you want to shoot something else, go for it. But usually the center of the target is the safest place to shoot that arrow, right? So you're stretching it back and then you let it go. And you have this hope that this arrow is going to hit the middle of the target. Now, if it doesn't, that just shows that you have some room for growth, right? So you would keep practicing, you keep trying, maybe your instructor can give you some tips, and eventually it'll start to come together where you can understand how to hit that middle of the target. So, like we said, you have a strong desire to succeed. Okay, you have an aim. We're aiming for the center of that target. And you have a longing to belong, to achieve that goal, right? Now, the next one is ambition. Okay, now ambition is kind of taking another step or a higher level of that answer. So on our Google search, it says ambition is a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. Okay, now up above, we have lifestyle aspiration, okay? It's a lifestyle aspiration, which means we have a strong desire, an aim, a longing for a type of lifestyle, okay? Now, we're gonna go back to my picture, and you can look at your picture, okay? Now, I have my two babies here on the picture. One of them is in heaven, okay? She passed away the first year of my husband's and my marriage. Now, I have a very strong longing to see her again. So that's why she's in the picture. The second baby actually hasn't come yet. He or she is currently inside of me right now, and I have a very strong longing to have them actually be here in my arms to see them for the first time, okay? Before I met my husband, I actually met him when I was 24 years old, and I had a very strong desire, a very strong aim and a longing to find him. Now, before I could find him, I had to make sure that I was the right person for that kind of lifestyle, for marriage or a relationship, okay? So what I had to do was work hard to either find him or be what I needed to be. And being what you need to be sometimes often leads you to your goals and that achievement. A house, we had to work very hard to earn the money that we needed to pay for that house. And even now that we still have it, we have to work hard to keep it and maintain it and make sure that it's good, okay? Nature, you have to take care of nature. We all kind of know that, okay? If you truly believe that we need to make more of an effort to take care of nature, then you feel this very strongly. Nature needs to be taken care of. My business is still in the baby stages. It hasn't taken off yet because there's just not enough effort going into making that happen, but there will be. My puppy takes a lot of effort to take care of. And it took a lot of effort for me to convince my husband that we should get a little furry rascal, right? So to train him takes so much effort, patience, okay, and time in loving him. Lastly, writing. Writing is a whole nother job, okay? You need that creativity, that connection to what you're writing, and that effort or that desire to make that effort to write and to make those stories. Okay, so now that you've written down those definitions, if you haven't yet, go ahead and define them through Google and write down those definitions. Now what I want you to do, we're going to go into Google Slides. So I'll show you. So sorry for all the noise. My puppy is playing with the water bottle. So once again, helping him to find something entertaining and patience. So going into Google Slides, we're going to go to Google. We're going to click this box, and we're going to scroll down till we see this yellow slides icon. Click on that, and then click on the blank template. Okay, now you have this blank template. What you're going to do is click the plus button until you have a few slides. The amount of slides that I want you to have are 7 total. Now, on your first slide, what I wanted to say is aspirations and ambitions. I have the words up on my whiteboard. They are in your Google search or they're in your notes. Okay, so if you don't know how it's spelled, you can either look at my whiteboard or you can look at Google. Okay, now the second slide is your job, your future job. So the job that you think you want to have in the future. Currently, I'm a teacher. That's what I went to college for, but my dream job would be an author, and I'm working very hard to achieve that. So I'm going to put author. Now I have a picture of an author. For each slide, I want you to put a picture, or 2 or 3, okay? How you do that. So I'm going to show you how you transfer a picture onto your Google Slides. If you don't know how, I've opened up a Google search and I clicked on images to find your picture. Now when you find your picture, you click on it, you drag it, and I'm going to drag it to my template that is blank. You hover over your tab that you want, and then you hover over the slides you want and drop it. And it will appear, okay? Now, the third slide that I want you to do is education. You can do college, you can do trade school. Trade school is a little bit more specific than college. You go to college, there's a billion majors that you can take, a billion minors, and you can switch to whatever you want. Now, trade school, you're specifically going to trade school for something, okay? And you could switch to other things, but it's a little bit more difficult because there's not as many options. Or you can do an apprenticeship. And when you do an apprenticeship, that is your job, okay? You could swap to something else, but you have to find a whole separate apprenticeship in order to swap. Now, when I went to college, because that was my avenue of education, I chose BYU, Idaho. Now, I'm going to back up just a little bit. If you want to drop out of school right now, okay, let's say you're in elementary school, junior high, okay, you're not going to get paid very much at whatever job you get. The reason why is because they're paying you for the knowledge that you have and the experience that you have. Now, your experience might be coming from the community, from your parents, family, from your current school experience, but that's not a lot. It is extremely basic knowledge, and they're not going to pay you very much for that. If you go to high school, you graduate from high school, they're going to pay you a little bit more because they have this expectation that you've gained a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more experience. Now, if you go to college or a trade school or an apprenticeship, now you have that specific knowledge that you need for that job. So you will get paid what you're worth because you know how to do your job well and effectively. So, when I went to college, I actually changed my major 4 times, okay? You can change your major if you find that, you know, it really just doesn't quite fit with your personality. It's not quite the lifestyle you want. You can change it. Now, what happened with me, I was planning on being an art major. I was going to go into animation. I was going to work for Disney. Exciting, right? Now, what I found was when I get stressed and I pull all-nighters, I destroy my artwork. Not very productive for that kind of a job because you have tons of stress and you pull all-nighters all the time. Not kind of the lifestyle that I want. So I actually swapped to teaching. I've loved teaching. And now I'm thinking, okay, what's beyond teaching? What can I do that will help me to reach you guys in the world a little bit more creatively, right? So slide number 4 is family and friends. Now I want you to put a picture of your family, put a picture of your friends. If you don't have a picture of either, you can find just a random picture of a family or friends on Google, okay? And insert those into there. Travel is slide number 5, and I want you to put some pictures of where you would like to go out in the world. Slide number 6 is hobbies. Now, I want you to show me what your hobbies are, okay? So put some pictures on there. If you want to put more than 3, go for it. What are your hobbies? What are you good at? What do you like to do in your spare time, in your free time? Okay, and the very last slide. So the very last slide is number 7, and it is your lesson feedback. This is where I want you to type your notes, okay? The notes you've been writing down. I want you to type them onto this slide. Now, I wrote some of my notes that I took on this lesson. I did the definitions of aspiration and ambition. I also put what I can do and what I like and love. Now, those lists are for my future job, okay? And then I took a picture of my drawing and I uploaded it to my email, so then I was able to download it, drag and drop, okay? So I want to see a picture of your drawing on this slide. When you are done and you want to turn this in, I want you to click on share, okay? The title will be Aspirations and Ambitions. If you want to put your name next to that, please do. That way I know what your name is. If you do not want to put it right here, put it on your presentation. Okay, so we would go back to slide 1 and we would put your name. Okay, either way, I want to see your name. So go back to share. Push save, click on my name or type my name in, okay, and push done. And then you are done, and I will get your presentations and your assignment in my email. I will give you feedback and answer any questions that you might have. If you're struggling to find a job that meets all of the things that you love, that you're capable of doing, I will help you out and I will give you some job options that should be able to help you kind of narrow your focus as to what you would like to do in your life in the future. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a good day.